Hey everybody, Lara here from Love on a Plate, and it's a Monday night, and boy, we made it. What a day it's been, I gotta tell you. Best laid plans and nothing worked out. But everybody was wondering what the heck I was gonna eat for dinner this week, and it's the week of Black Friday, and I'm gonna be super busy, so despite all of that, I figured I had to cook. So tonight I've got a lineup of recipes from kind of pretty international. I got a cheat sheet here. And so tonight I'm going to show you a whole bunch of things. I'm going to make Hoisin meatballs. Really cool thing about this recipe is you can do them in the crock pot. If you forget to put them in the crock pot or you don't want to put them in the crock pot, you can do them on the stove. Simple, simple. We're taking like frozen meatballs and we're zhuzhing them up. Then I'm gonna make sheet pan pork souvlaki, and I'm gonna show you how I make the rice pilaf that goes with that. I'm gonna show you sort of my secret for making my own flavored rice pilafs, okay? And I also put up on the blog the recipe for the tzatziki, but I'm not gonna make that tonight. Then I'm gonna show you, what else are we gonna make? We're gonna make Crockpot creamy Cajun pasta, because I think it's gonna be one of those weeks when I need a little comfort food, and I've been craving Cajun, and pasta's always really comforting. And then I'm gonna just whip together a couple of quick Cubano wraps for the boys. I did make a couple of lunches yesterday. I made some, what did I make? Oh, I made some club sliders and I made some Asian steak wraps. And when I'm making the Cubanos, I'll tell you how I did those. And if I drink enough coffee, I'll put the recipes up tonight, okay? So let's get started. I'm gonna start with the Hoisin meatballs. And best laid plans. I just rearranged all my Ziploc bags. Okay. So this one is a prep ahead. It's really simple. I don't know, but at my house, meatballs are super popular. Of course, I forgot to get the meatballs, and often I make my own meatballs and freeze them ahead. But I've been back at work now for 3 weeks, and it's been a little bit crazy. So I'm gonna use the frozen ones. And I asked James, everybody say hi James, give him a thumbs up. So I asked him to go and get me some meatballs. He bought me the tiniest little bag, but we're gonna do it anyway. And he just won't get any dinner that night. No, we'll make him dinner. Okay, so I have shared before my honey garlic meatballs. Those are really popular. These are just a little bit different because the base of the sauce is Hoisin sauce, which is, some people call it like Chinese ketchup. It's sweet. It's got a little bit of 5 spice flavoring in there, a little bit of soy sauce. So it's kind of sweet and salty all mixed together. So that's the base. Okay, so I have my itty bitty bag of meatballs. And then I'm gonna add all the goodies to it. So I need a cup of Hoisin sauce. Okay, so this is just over a cup. So I'm gonna put the whole thing in there because we like the sauce. So I'm gonna pour the whole thing here. This you can get, I think you can find this anywhere now. If you go down the international aisle of your grocery store where they have like the plum sauce and the teriyaki sauce, sometimes it's in a squeeze bottle and sometimes it's in a jar. Okay. Then, just to make a bit more saucy, we put in a 1/2 cup of soy sauce and a 1/2 cup of water. And you notice I put it in my Hoisin jar because I want to get every last ounce of goodness. How is everybody? It feels like it's been forever.
They were just asking you the same thing.
how everybody is.
You are.
I'm a little woohoo, but you know what? I wanted to come and hang out with you guys because I was missing being here. So if I'm a little scattered, you're gonna forgive me. We're still gonna cook really good food. Okay, so now I have all this sauce, and that is gonna go in there. We're gonna get rid of this. And I would like to put some chopped green onions in there, but I forgot to get them out of the fridge. So I'm gonna ask my lovely assistant James if he can go in the fridge. He's pointing at the fridge, girls.
We have a lot of fridges in this house.
Oh, okay. I'm being a smart aleck. So we do have a fridge downstairs. So he wondered if I meant upstairs or downstairs. So I'm gonna add a big old clove of garlic. And this meal, like I said, you can toss this bag in the crock pot on low for the whole day. It'll be delicious. If you don't want to do that because you forget, you can also just cook it on the stove top. If you go back and look at my honey garlic meatball recipe, you can see it takes about 15 minutes or so. You can thicken the sauce with a little bit of cornstarch and water, like a slurry. He's having trouble with the green onions. We may have to call my son the chef. It's okay, honey, never mind. Okay, so we're gonna pretend that I put in some chopped green onions in here, okay? And then I like to add sesame seeds. These are just white sesame seeds, and they're optional. They just add a little color and a little different texture. And I'm gonna add 2 teaspoons of those, plus a little, because you guys know how much I like to measure. Okay. Hi, Tiffany, and Dolores, and Amy, and Susan, and oh, everybody came out. All right. I'm so glad to see everyone. Okay, this is it. Super, super simple. So good, you guys. Much better than the jarred sauces, even of teriyaki. And look, it only takes like 3 minutes, and I think my bag is leaking. Okay, so that would be meal number 1. And I would serve that with rice and spring rolls or egg rolls, like whatever your family likes to eat as a side. So that's kind of like our Chinese takeout. And so instead of spending $100 on Chinese takeout, that cost me about $8. And if it was the big bag of meatballs, it would feed everybody. Okay, so now we're gonna make pork souvlaki. Pork souvlaki is usually on the skewers. We don't need the skewers. It takes too much time, and I want to be able to cook this on a sheet pan. So I got this pork tenderloin on sale. It's the perfect, it's tender, that's the name, tenderloin. Doesn't have a lot of fat. I'm gonna go over the sink, you guys. Okay. And then real hands, real meat, real life. Okay. And I'm gonna cube this up. And this one I serve with rice pilaf and tzatziki sauce. And then I take the leftovers, and you can make like a bowl with them, or you can make wraps with them, if there are any leftovers, that is. So
Sherry wants to know where you got those baskets.
I got the baskets at Marshall's in the laundry department. Everybody loves my baskets. I wish I could like manufacture some. They're totally cute. They make me happy when I'm meal prepping. All right, so the pork souvlaki, we are going to move this bag out of the way. We're just gonna cut this into not too big cubes, like an inch and a bit. You do want them even so that they cook at the same time. And you don't want them too small because you don't want them to dry out. And that's why I like the tenderloin, because it's about the same width. So it makes it really simple. And this is gonna serve 6. And one of these days, we'll get it so my recipes are sizable for you. Is that something that would be useful to you guys? If you could like download the recipes and size them up. I'm trying to convince James, who's a computer genius, to do that for me. I think if you guys sent him a whole bunch of hearts, he might work on it. Okay, so then this we're gonna season up with like classic Greek flavors. So we're gonna have garlic, obviously. We're going to, see now this guy's a bit thicker. I'm gonna cut him down the middle. So we're gonna have garlic and lemon and oregano. I actually add a bit of Worcestershire sauce, which is not very traditionally Greek, but it adds lots of different flavors. A little bit of salt. If you don't want to use Worcestershire sauce, like if you're trying to be gluten-free, because it has gluten in it and people don't necessarily know that, you can use like tamari or like one of the gluten-free soy sauces.
So it looks like everybody would really like that.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure I'm going to be able to do it because I'm going to be fading away to nothing with no meatballs.
James says unless he can have meatballs, he's not sure he can work on that programming for me.
I don't have the energy.
I'll work a deal out with him. Okay, so I'm gonna switch out my cutting boards. It's lucky I have a big stash of them. Okay, so now,
Me says, Lord, it looks like a tongue.
it's just the pork tenderloin, darling. Okay, so there's my pork, right? And now I'm going to add all the Greek flavors. So lemon, garlic, there it is, oregano leaves, Worcestershire sauce, and red wine vinegar. So this is one that I like to, like if I'm gonna make it today, it really should marinate for a little while. So this can be dinner tomorrow night. You can also freeze this like in the summertime. This is really nice on the grill. We're all dreaming of summer now that it's cold. Who's got cold weather? Okay, so this is like 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. The other really nice thing about pork is that it's really doesn't have a whole lot of flavor by itself, so it takes to the seasonings that we add in here. So since I like garlic, all right, so are you guys ready for Thanksgiving? Those of you who are in the States, menus planned. Did you download my Thanksgiving planner? It's free, you know. It's just to help you guys. If you haven't seen it, you haven't found it, it's over on the blog. Just sign up for the newsletter. It'll come in a little email. You can print it out. I'm gonna make a Christmas one. A little bit different. Gonna include some gift organizing, some baking to go along with my 12 days of cookies that's coming. Okay. Once I get through Black Friday, I will be more normal. Well, more like myself, which is not that normal, but more like me. Okay, so 2 cloves of garlic. So my lovely son, the chef, I don't know what he did. He took all of my measuring spoons. Okay.
Jessica thinks she's ready, but she's sure she's not.
For Thanksgiving? I know, that's always the way, right? You make a list, you buy everything. I always forget like one thing. Drives me crazy. Okay, oregano, 2 teaspoons of oregano. This is probably a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. And the exact measurements are on the recipe, I promise. I write them, I test them, I play with them, I make notes. You guys should see my notebooks, they're really funny. And then when I cook, I've done it so many times I toss it in. Okay, so this is then a tablespoon of red wine vinegar and olive oil. And if you wanted to make a Greek salad dressing, you now have all the ingredients. Olive oil, red wine vinegar, lemon, garlic, salt and pepper. Shake it up, put it on cucumbers, tomatoes, and lettuce. You're good to go. Okay, about 1/4 cup. So now we've marinated our pork.
Janice is the farthest ahead. She's already done her desserts today.
What'd you make, Janice?
Oh, except Cindy's having Thanksgiving tomorrow.
Oh, that's early, Cindy.
Some of her family works retail.
Yeah.
They'll be working on Thursday.
Yeah, I remember that. You said your husband works retail. I know. Okay, so this is my pork souvlaki. It doesn't have any veggies in it. You can absolutely, on the same sheet pan, roast some veggies. You could do red peppers. You could do red onions. You could do any color of peppers, really, that you wanted. But just be mindful, right? Veggies cook quicker than meat, and so I would put them on different sheet pans. So all those recipes that put everything all in one bag, they don't make a lot of sense to me because I end up having to like scoop the meat out so it doesn't get overcooked. Okay. Don't overcook your pork, it'll get really dry. So this is meal number 2, or part 1 of meal number 2. I'm going to show you how I make my rice pilaf. All right. So this is like the Uncle Ben's stuff in the store. It costs me about $4.99 unless it's on sale. This was on sale, obviously. But I actually, you know me, I like to make my stuff from scratch. I get to control what's in it, and I get to play with the measurements so it suits my taste exactly. And it's also always a lot cheaper. So what I do, I have a big like international grocery store. So I go and I buy big bags of rice and I make my own mixes. So into these mason jars, I'm gonna make my own combination that I like. Okay, so
This will be the rice pilaf, right?
this is the rice pilaf. So you use long grain rice, so not like Uncle Ben's instant rice, that'll cook too fast. And then I use orzo, which looks like rice, but is pasta. And when you cook this, you're gonna, in a skillet with a lid, you're gonna heat up the butter first, and then you're gonna toast this up. And you know, rice-a-roni, okay, I like rice-a-roni. Took me, I haven't had it in years. But what I like about it is the combination of the rice and the pasta. So that's what I do here. I make that combination myself. And I put in way less salt. Okay.
Dessert update?
Yep.
Pistachio, cherry and orange jello, and pumpkin pie.
Oh, it's gonna be good dessert at your house, Janice. All right. So a cup of rice, and I talk about this on the blog. When I'm not kind of nutty, I like to make these ahead. And the base is always the same. So I have the rice. So that's 1 cup. For my family, I make 2 cups. And then if we have leftovers, that's James's lunch. Come on.
Holy smokes.
It just fits. Yep.
Melissa's having an untold number of turkeys.
How many turkeys?
Well, 2 big dinners on Thursday, but also doing desserts for the in-laws.
James talking too much, it's distracting me. Okay, so usually I use a bigger mason jar, so I want to be able to have this orzo in here. So I put about 2 tablespoons per cup. So it's like 2 cups of rice and 1/4 cup of the orzo. And you guys, I made this too full. What else is new? That's what happens if you don't measure. Wait, let me pour some out. Just a little. Because I gotta season it. Okay. So use a bigger jar than I did. Or you can use a Ziploc baggie. So I often will make a whole bunch of these. This one's gonna have Greek flavors put right in it. You can do them Tex-Mex, you can do them Asian, and you just put all the dry seasonings in the jar. So for this one, I go back to my oregano. I'm gonna put parsley, and I'm gonna put garlic powder because I want it to be super simple. So all I have to do is come home, turn on the skillet, and fry it up. I'm lying to you. I also put in dry chicken broth powder. You could do it in your rice cooker too, but I usually do it in the pan. It takes like 20 minutes to cook. Okay, so 1 tablespoon, 2 tablespoons of like the chicken bouillon powder. And again, you can put how much you like, right? Because this is making your own seasoned rices. And it's so nice when I have these all lined up in my cupboard. I think it looks cute, but I also feel really good because I know if I forgot to plan aside, so I often meal plan. Okay, I always meal plan, but then I don't always plan what's gonna go on the side, and then I come home and I'm like, oh, fiddlesticks. What am I gonna cook? So these are great to just grab out. So like a tablespoon of parsley. I don't think parsley really has any flavor, but it looks nice, okay? And some dried garlic. Or minced, no, garlic powder. Whew, I need my coffee. All right, and that's it. And you can just shake her all up. And then you have your own homemade rice pilaf. So on the recipe on the blog, I only included the options for this Greek one because I ran out of time, but I will go and share with you some of the other combinations that I do. So one afternoon, you get your rice out, you get your orzo, all your seasonings, and you just assemble a whole bunch of these jars. Okay?
2 things.
Yes.
Can you leave the orzo out because Jessica doesn't like rice-a-roni?
Yeah, of course you can. So just the plain seasoned rice is absolutely this way. Like this bouillon that I use here has no salt in it. So that's one of the other reasons. James is counting his calories and his sodium. I should be. When your recipe tasting gets kind of hard, but you can absolutely leave the orzo out.
And does it need to be thoroughly mixed before you put the jar away?
No, I just like shaking things up. Okay. So that's meal number 2. I'm gonna heat up some pita is the word I'm looking for. And then I make a Greek salad with that, just like a basic Greek salad dressing. And that's dinner, and that's tzatziki. And they make delicious wraps for the next day too. All right, so that's 2 dinners. So now I know we can eat until Wednesday. Just gonna scooch this stuff out of the way. And then we're gonna make Crockpot.
Just before you do that, Judy would just like a review on how you cook those pilafs.
The pilafs? Okay. So to cook the pilafs, I'm going to take butter and I'm going to heat it up in the pan. And then I'm gonna pour the rice mixture in, and I'm gonna cook it for like 2 or 3 minutes. It's gonna absorb most of the butter. It's gonna get a little bit brown and toasty. And then that's 2 cups of rice. So I'm gonna add 4 cups of water, gonna put the lid on it, and I'm gonna let it cook for 20 minutes, and it's gonna be perfect. If you wanna add frozen peas to it, you can. If you wanna add some other veggie into it, you can. It's like often, so if I'm making an Asian one, I would like take some frozen veggies. You know what frozen veggies look like. And I would add those while it's cooking. I will put all those variations, or as many as I can think of, onto the recipe as soon as I have a sec. Okay? So we'll get rid of the jumbo bag of rice. And let's make this one. I'm really super stoked about. Creamy Cajun Crockpot. It has too many words, you guys. Crockpot creamy Cajun chicken. So did anybody happen to try the cheesy Crockpot spaghetti that I made a couple weeks ago? It's funny, the pin went crazy on Pinterest. Lots of people made it, even got some reviews. That was like super exciting for me, and it was delicious.
Sorry, Debbie's just asking if you can skip the butter step to make it lower in fat. I assume that's on the Pilaf, right?
Yeah, on the Pilaf, you could use olive oil. You could just toast it straight up in the pan, just to get a little bit of a brown toast on there, like on a low heat, and then it would totally be lower in fat. Olive oil, coconut oil, butter. Any of those things would work. Or you could just straight up boil it. If you don't want to do that part, like you could just cook it like you cook a normal long grain rice, and it's still going to taste really good.
Melinda also had your back on that, so you can go on.
I'm back on what?
Melinda had your back on that.
Oh, okay. Okay. I love it that you guys help me out. Okay, so the creamy, whew. So this one needs a big bag. And a couple of rice grains dropped in there. Okay. So this is Crockpot friendly. Well, it's really, it's designed for the Crockpot. And I will start, so we're gonna put all the fresh veggies in. Now, because this goes in the Crockpot and it cooks slow and slow, I don't like to cut the veggies too small. I find they get super mushy and they kind of disintegrate, right? So we're gonna cut the pieces not too small. And then basically we're taking all the classic flavors of like Cajun food. So we have onions and green pepper, and I left out the celery because I think it's weird in a pasta dish, but that's called the Holy Trinity in New Orleans. Okay, so 1 onion, and you see I cut it up kind of like not too small, so it's not diced. If you don't like onions, you're allergic to onions, just leave those out. Green pepper, and I highly recommend not skipping the green pepper. It has a really distinct flavor that is different than the red peppers, right? So, and again, I'm gonna slice them, but not too small. If you got fussy kids, they might just, well, make the pieces big enough for them to pick around. I always say 1 bite won't kill them, so they should try it. So we have the green pepper, red pepper, We're gonna put, what else are we putting in here? We're putting in tomatoes, chicken broth, cream cheese, and we let it all cook up. Then you're gonna shred the chicken up. You're gonna add the cream at the, a little bit of extra cream at the end, and that's it. I'm going to pre-cook my pasta because it's really nice. So if you par cook your pasta, put it in the fridge beside this, because my kids, seemingly even with directions, can't boil noodles. They just have to toss it in the crock pot like 15 minutes before they're ready to eat. Stir it all up, and it's good to go. All right. So 1 green pepper, 1 red pepper, chicken, obviously. Okay. I need a fork. Okay. And my recipe says 2 chicken breasts, but you do you, and I know Jonathan is going to be starving, so I have to add more. So this is my homemade Cajun seasoning blend. You can use any Cajun seasoning blend you have. This one, again, it has no salt in it because the chicken broth has salt, cream cheese has salt, canned tomatoes have salt.
Everything has salt.
Everything has salt. So I just try to avoid that. So I'm just gonna, okay, no chicken police, here we go. You guys got my back, right? If there's chicken police on here. All right. And then I'm gonna throw in, so I've got like about a tablespoon on the chicken. Just gonna rub it in to make sure that the chicken itself gets flavored. And when it sits in the bag, because it'll sit probably won't make this one tomorrow, I'll make it the next day. So it'll have really nice flavor. But we're doing good, guys. I think I've only made 2 dishes so far. So that's always nice. All right.
And Kathy's noting that you can pop the stem off of the green pepper and get more of a topping.
Yes. I have my veggie stock bowl over there. So sometimes, but you sure can. Okay. This one's done. Well, the recipe's not done, but that cutting board is done. And then I'm gonna add some cut up pieces of andouille sausage. And they have a little bit of spice to them, not a lot, but they have a really, really great flavor. And that adds to the flavor that makes this Cajun-y style. You always get nervous when you call something like Cajun because you're gonna get some people who tell you it's not authentic. I know it's not authentic, but I know it tastes good.
You're not eating it indoor means it's not authentic. But it's still good.
But it's still good. Give me a nice gumbo any day. Okay. You guys know that, right? It's one of James and I's favorite place. That's where we went on our honeymoon.
I just put that in the chat.
Ah, he remembers where we went. All right. So, that's all that stuff. We're going to add some tomatoes and some cream cheese and some chicken broth. I'm going to dump it all in there. This is really like a dump and go on the morning. You're just going to dump this whole thing into your crock pot. And you're going to go to work. And you're going to come home and it's going to be amazing. Okay. So Usually I can find the diced tomatoes that have the celery and the green pepper in them. I couldn't find them this week. My shopping was a little chaotic. I sent my order in. It was about 2 a.m. I thought I hit click to submit. I sent James to pick up the groceries and there was no order there. So I had to redo the whole order. I don't really know what happened. So if you had the ones with the celery and the green pepper, then we'd have the whole trinity in there, the green pepper, the onion, and the celery. So we'd be more authentic. Okay, so I'm putting this in. This is my sauce. And a cup of chicken broth. And if it gets too, I probably could have measured it, you guys. It's okay. Cup of chicken broth. Cream cheese for the creamy part. Definitely not authentic. But it's really nice in the crock pot. And I like creamy dishes in the crock pot, but you gotta be careful. Like if you cook with milk in the crock pot, it tends to separate and break apart and it doesn't taste that good. Or it tastes okay, but it doesn't look that good. So I'm putting in 4 ounces of cream cheese. It just helps things not separate. Okay, so 4 ounces of cream cheese. I lost my lid, that's okay. And let me just double check. Salt and pepper to taste. So I'm gonna skip the salt because I'm gonna finish it on cooking day. I'm gonna add some cream and we're gonna add some Parmesan cheese. And so the Parmesan too is gonna have lots of salt. And parsley. Okay, for color. And I like to serve this over the thicker kind of fettuccine noodles, but you can use any kind of pasta you like. My littlest son, he's not that little, he thinks it's not really pasta unless it's a long noodle shape. Kids are weird, but we love them. Okay, so that is our Cajun creamy Crockpot creamy Cajun pasta. The recipe is up on the blog with all of the directions. Okay?
Susan and Joanne are afraid that you just threw your lid away in the garbage.
Oh, I might have. That's okay. We'll figure something out. Because I try to clean up as I go. And then I get too... Right? My kitchen, I swear to you guys, is 10 by 10. Like, it's really long, and we have a eating nook, but the actual cooking part is like this little 10 by 10 thing. So I have to be super organized. Okay, so those are my 3 dinners. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Black Friday, we're gonna have the kids over and Mom's gonna be passed out when she comes home. So I am making Tex-Mex pizzas for them, but we have to pick the kids up from dance just past 9. So I'll put the recipe on the blog, but I'm not gonna make it now. But I'm gonna make some more lunches because everybody decided today that they were eating some of the lunches for dinner. Told you, it's mayhem in the house. Okay, so I've got my wraps, and
You haven't told them what you're making.
I am going to make Cubano wraps. See, I put it in quotes, so it's not really Cuban. I know it isn't, but it has all of the main ingredients of a Cubano. So this is what I found with my kids, is if things have lots of flavor in them, then they tend to eat their lunch more. So this one is mustard, turkey, ham, pickles, and then I put some lettuce. And you can tell I'm having a crazy busy week when I'm buying like everything pre-chopped up for me, but that's okay. I need a little mayo. I need to send James to get me some mayo. It's on the second shelf, babe. Oh, we have a spare. Da, 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 da. He's my hero. Mayo. Okay. Who makes kids lunches? And who finds them in the bottom of their backpacks? Give me a thumbs up if you have found kids' lunches in the bottom of the backpacks.
Or worse if you haven't.
James says it's worse if you haven't, because you know they're there. All right. So, part of the trick with the wraps not being soggy, even when you add all these good ingredients. So, like, I'm going to add pickles, but I don't want them to be too wet. James is examining my pickles. Oh, he's stealing my pickles. You know why?
The bacon of the vegetable world.
Oh, he says it's the bacon of the vegetable world, you guys. Okay. So if your kids are like adventurous, you can add red onion. I don't put tomatoes in wraps because they do make the wrap soggy. Okay, so this is just a little smear of mayo. You gotta shake the mustard or you get mustard juice. So you guys, if you haven't, while I'm assembling this, if you haven't shared the video and you feel like there's something in here you might want to cook again, or you just want to do a girl a favor, I would love it if you would share. Trying to put love on a plate out there a little bit more. Get people to see in an hour. We're going to make some lunch. We've got 3 dinners. I am going to stay in the kitchen afterwards, and I'm going to make a creamy crock-pot chicken soup too. And I'll put the recipe up. But I knew I was going to be pushed for time tonight. Okay, so I'm putting meat, and I don't go all the way to the bottom because I want to be able to fold it up and roll it up. I also find if I'm too chintzy with the meat, then the kids don't like it because it's mostly just bread, right? So who likes that? So normally when I do my pick and choose, which I haven't shown you guys, but I will do that next Sunday. I have already decided that next Sunday is, I'll show you how I get that whole process done. James doesn't, oh, is the lighting bad, you guys?
Hard to see the wrap.
Is that better?
Nope.
Nope. Okay, let's see.
You can figure out where it's coming from.
It's from my pot light, I think. Is that better?
Nope.
Can we tilt the camera down more? Can I go on a black?
Oh, actually, that was working. Push it forward.
Forward?
Yep.
Is that good, you guys?
And then we have to wait for a sec. And that. There we go. That'll do it.
Okay, so James is going to stand here with a piece of Bristol board above my head. And I'm going to make some Cubano wraps. Okay, so I'm going to make 2. And usually I would do a whole bunch all in one shot. All right, so turkey. Honey, you don't have to do that.
Oh, it's much better.
Oh, he says, is it better, guys? James will keep standing there.
Sorry, guys, I can't answer anything for...
No question. We have to hold all our questions while James is being our...
Please hold your questions until the end, the performance.
While the lighting guy is here. I know what it is. It's we forgot to put my side light on. You should see my kitchen, you guys. It's pretty funny. We have tripods, and we have lights, and we have tons of cooking gear. Okay, so then the pickles. And this one's missing a pickle because somebody stole one.
Quality control.
So I'm going to dry off this pickle. And I'm going to put some lettuce. And so when I do my pick and choose, I would make 5 so that each person, so I make 5 of every kind. So I make an awful lot of sandwiches or wraps or that kind of thing in a week. And the better they are, the more the kids eat them, which is good and bad because then they start to eat them for snacks. Okay, I'm just gonna move these for a sec. And these are my favorite thing because a wrap is not nice in one of those Ziploc bags. It gets all messy, it doesn't fit. I bought these at a restaurant supply store. I did last week put up a link to Amazon. Those ones are actually better, the ones I posted, because they can go in the microwave too. So like I have some wraps that are really good heated up, and those are microwave friendly. Okay, so we're gonna fold the bottom and roll her up. And then, that's in. So I go triangle side to triangle, and I tuck it in and fold in my sides, and then I roll, and I don't even have to tape them or anything. They just stay nice and fresh like that. I'll tell you that my first job, one of my first jobs was at McDonald's. I think I've made like 1 million breakfast burritos at McDonald's. That's where I got this particular training. The rest I got at culinary school. Okay, so like the paper is like in a diamond shape. So you fold one over, in, and roll. Okay, so those are my Cubano wraps. What do you want to bet? James is going to steal one on the way up to pick up Jonathan from dance. So that's what I've cooked for today. So just to recap, so we made Crockpot creamy Cajun chicken pasta. We made Hoisin Asian meatballs. We made pork, sheet pan pork souvlaki with a pilaf rice, and all those combinations, and a couple of wraps for some lunches, and I'll finish off the rest of those once we stop being live. And that's going to at least get me to Friday. And that, for this week, is good enough. To be honest, I've got, a couple of things tucked away in my freezer, so I should be able to make it to Sunday. So I'm going to work straight now from Tuesday to Saturday. And then on Sunday, I'm gonna come on back. We're gonna show you the whole pick and choose process because I make little snack boxes. I call them Brooks boxes. They're like bento boxes for snacks. I'll show you how I do that whole system, and we'll cook dinner. So thanks for your patience this week. I know I was supposed to come live yesterday. I was gonna try to come this afternoon, and then I was like tired, and then I was like, I'm gonna go out there and we're gonna see all the ladies because I missed you guys. So if you have any questions, as always, and we'll work on getting James to make them shopping listable. That's the upgrade. And then
just froze.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, you'll probably come back now. Yep, you're back.
So I was frozen for 30 seconds there. Okay, so I'll be back on Sunday. If you have any special requests, feel free to drop me a note. You know I love talking to you guys. I always check in on my breaks. So thanks for coming tonight. Don't forget, share the video. Let's give James a heart as we sign out. And I will see everybody on Sunday. We'll put some more love on a plate. See you later.
Bye, guys.
Can you stop?